everything you need to know about Saturday Night Live with John Schneider and James Stevens.
Welcome to everything you need to know about Saturday Night Live. I'm John Schneider from the Saturday Night Network.
And I'm James Stevens, and we're celebrating SNL's 50-year history as we review the sketches, characters, and backstage stories that chronicle the show's institutional status.
And now here's everything you need to know about Season 20 of Saturday Night Live. Season 19 was a year that left a lot of uncertainty about the future of the show. We saw the departure of legendary cast member Phil Hartman, who exited the show after 8 seasons, along with Jan Hooks making her final guest appearance. Tom Davis, one of SNL's last remaining original writers, left the show over the summer to host a sci-fi show Trailer Park. Kevin Nealon, one of the final members of the second Golden Era cast, would be the season's most senior cast member, though would be removed from the Weekend Update desk. Mike Myers, who joined the show in January of 1989, had only a few months left on his contract and was set to depart in January of 1995. To help bring some freshness to Studio 8H, Lorne would hire some well-known names to join the cast, including 34-year-old Chris Elliott of Late Night with David Letterman fame would join as a repertory player. 29-year-old Janine Garofalo, who had made a name for herself on The Larry Sanders Show, would join as a repertory player. And 25-year-old Laura Keitlinger, a writer on Roseanne, would join as a writer and feature player. With the sketch show The Kids in the Hall soon coming to an end, Lorne would approach all 5 sketch players to join the SNL cast. Bruce McCullough, a season 11 writer, showed interest, but would end up only making a few short films for the season. 35-year-old Mark McKinney, also a season 11 writer, does take Lorne up on his offer and would join the cast in January. Norm Macdonald, season 19's breakout rookie, would be bumped up to repertory player and named Weekend Update anchor over considered names such as Al Franken and Bill Maher. Laura Keitlinger was considered to co-anchor Update with Norm, but ultimately Norm would anchor the segment alone.
I'm Norm Macdonald, and now the fake news.
Original writer Herb Sargent, who had supervised the segment for most of the show's history, would transition the role of Update producer over to Jim Downey as the season progressed. And with that, the pressure was on for returning cast members Ellen Cleghorn, Chris Farley, Michael McKeon, Tim Meadows, Adam Sandler, and David Spade to produce high-quality material in this special 20th anniversary season.
The 20th season of Saturday Night Live would premiere on September 24th, 1994, with Steve Martin hosting for a record-extending 13th time.
Try my new beauty cream, and in a matter of weeks, your penis will be looking smoother and softer.
The season would see a new opening montage as well as a new treatment of the opening theme, the first time since 1985. The cold open features most of the male cast auditioning to replace Phil Hartman as the show's new President Clinton.
Many of you might have noticed I've put on a few extra pounds.
Listen up. First I call Jimmy Carter. Beep boop bop boop beep bop beep. Jimmy, Bill, sick of being a loser one-term president everyone feels sorry for? Then get down to Haiti.
Ah, yes, Chelsea. Get away from me, kid. You bother me.
I'm the president. I think I'm so great. Did you know grizzly bears like to hibernate?
Hillary and I were talking. I'm not going to get this, am I? No.
The first of many O.J. Simpson trial sketches, a season 20 staple, would appear in the season opener.
What about the DNA results for the blood on the Branco?
Well, that so far is inconclusive. But according to the tests, the hair found at the crime scene does match that of the defendants.
Is this going to be a long trial? Because I'm shooting Acapulco Heat, that TV show, next week.
Mr. Kalin, I don't think there's much chance of your serving on this jury.
Cool.
And we see Norm Macdonald's Weekend Update debut.
Well, David Hasselhoff is a huge rock star in Germany, where his latest album sold 5 million copies this week, which once again proves my theory: Germans love David Hasselhoff.
The next episode would be hosted by actress Marisa Tomei.
TV Guide. Real New Yorkers, never without it.
We see Michael McKean officially take over the show's Bill Clinton impression.
You will receive this Universal Healthcare First Aid Kit. Got Band-Aids in here, an ointment, bug spray. Here's an ace bandage in case you sprain your ankle jogging or something. The national health care crisis is over.
And we receive our second O.J. Simpson trial sketch.
Who's gonna knock your socks off?
This time advocating for O.J. from My Cousin Vinny, Tomei's Mona Lisa Vito character.
Instead of a Bronco, the witness might have seen a 1993 Chevy Blazer and thought it was a Bronco.
But I don't understand. How could a person mistake a Chevy Blazer for a Ford Bronco?
Would you like me to explain?
Yes, I would.
You know, I was thinking about buying a new car. Maybe you could give me a little help?
Objection.
Shut up, Miss Clark!
Next up, John Travolta's episode is a fun look back at his extraordinary career, including a Saturday Night Fever-themed cold open, a Welcome Back Kotter and a Pulp Fiction mashup.
Welcome back. Funny story, Chatter.
Oh my God, Mr. Kotter, I thought you was gonna die, I swear.
Hello.
Featuring Michael McKean reprising his Squiggy character from Laverne and Shirley.
Nobody move!
Hey, up your nose with a rubber hose.
Okay, up your hole with a mellow roll.
As well as Steve Buscemi making a Reservoir Dogs-style cameo. On Weekend Update, Norm would deliver his first of many O.J. jokes.
According to retailers, the most popular Halloween mask this year is O.J. Simpson. And the most popular Halloween greeting is, I'll kill you and that guy who's bringing over your glasses, or treat.
And at the show's goodnights,
John, what are we going to do after the show?
the cast would join Travolta in singing the final number from Grease.
Oh, what, Papaluma?
This year's Halloween episode
I'm crazy happy to hear!
would bring Dana Carvey to host the show for the first time since departing the cast in 1993. The episode features a special message from a U.S. president, the first since Gerald Ford's pre-recorded message in 1976.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. This is George Bush. I was your president from 1989 to 1993. And during that time, Saturday Night Live made fun of me on a fairly regular basis. Do I have any hard feelings about that? Yes, I do.
George H.W. Bush gives his feedback about Dana's impression of him.
It's nothing like me. Bears no resemblance. It's bad. It's bad.
Dana would reprise some of his most iconic characters and impressions, including his Johnny Carson.
Mr. Caitlin, you had dinner with O.J. on the night of the murder?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Did he seem a little weird?
No, he was cool.
So he didn't seem agitated, you know, a little skewed?
Not that I noticed, no.
Well, that is wild. That is some wild stuff that helps my client. Isn't that right, Bob?
You are correct, sir.
And Ross Perot.
All right, let me get this straight. You put on a funny mask, I'm supposed to give you an almond joy. Well, think again, mommy boy.
As well as an occasion for a Hans and Franz reunion.
And they say, why don't you just do an editorial and update?
Yeah, update. Well, reoccurring characters go to die.
That's right. You know, the guy who was here before you was much nicer.
Another notable piece would include Dana in the now classic Pepper Boy sketch.
You like it a pep. Yeah. You like it a pep.
That's good. After losing season 11 cast member Denitra Vance to cancer just 3 months earlier, the show would lose one of its original creative forces on November 8th, 1994.
I'm here to break the news about a death in the family. This week, Michael O'Donoghue, one of the original writers and creators of Saturday Night Live, died. He had a tremendous influence on this show and on all of us. He was a writer that the writers, actors, and even the producer feared. And in this business, it's better sometimes to be feared than loved. But we're not afraid of him anymore, because he's dead.
This tribute from the Sarah Jessica Parker episode would include a rebroadcast of Mr. Mike's Coral Waters Cafe from season 3. It has been reported that the somber occasion, in addition to the unexpected result in the New York governor's election, Juliette Lewis dropping out as the original host, and Lorne being absent for most of the week attending the birth of his second child, led to a notoriously tense episode seen as a low point for the season.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
The Munchkinland sketch
hit the yellow brick road
encapsulates the mood of the week, as it apparently triggered Janine Garofalo allegedly breaking down in tears in between dress and air, exclaiming, "What have I done? What have I done to my career?"
I'm sorry, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
No, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
No, I just said... Oh, okay. I see what you're doing.
Actor John Turturro would host the final episode of November, with music from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers performing for the 5th time on the show, this time with Nirvana's Dave Grohl on drums. Turturro's monologue would parody his recent film, the historical drama Quiz Show.
I'm going to ask you a few questions to test your hosting abilities. All right, and if you are able to answer these questions correctly, you'll be our host tonight.
Sure.
Okay, and if not, then the job goes to our other finalists. Complete the sentence. I'm thrilled to be here, back in my hometown, blank, blank city.
Blank, blank city. I should know this. I grew up here. Blank, blank city.
I'm going to have to ask you for an answer.
It's a wild guess. New York City?
Correct!
Joey Buttafuoco, whose name had been a recurring punchline for the past year and a half, would make an appearance,
How is he getting all of these?
almost taking over the role as host.
There's no way he can keep this up.
No, I don't know. Someone must be feeding him these answers, man.
And on Weekend Update, Norm finally meets David Hasselhoff.
Here, say this.
Germans love me.
Which once again proves my theory. Germans love David Hasselhoff.
Roseanne kicks off December with her 3rd hosting stint.
Now, I don't hate all the critics, just you first-year penmanship students who always come out to critique the political content of my act. He said, well, Roseanne lives her life in the public eye. Well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have a job, so get off my ass!
On Weekend Update,
Kenny G has a Christmas album out this year. Hey, happy birthday, Jesus. Hope you like crap.
Adam Sandler would perform his now classic Hanukkah song.
Tell your friend Veronica, it's time to celebrate Hanukkah. I hope I get a harmonica on this lovely, lovely Hanukkah. So drink your gin and tonica, but don't smoke marijuana.
Next up, Alec Baldwin would join the prestigious Five Timers Club.
After my 4th time hosting, I wasn't quite sure I'd be invited back. You see, on that show, I appeared in a sketch called Canteen Boy Goes Camping. Some people got the wrong idea, and frankly, all hell broke loose. The NBC switchboard handled over 300,000 angry phone calls that night alone, and the network lost 7 affiliates as a result of the sketch. Sinead O'Connor ripped up a picture of Canteen Boy to deafening cheers at London's Wembley Stadium, and Soldier of Fortune magazine reported a 25% drop in the sale of canteens.
Baldwin's monologue would include a reunion with Canteen Boy.
It's good to see you again, consenting bisexual canteen person.
Ellen Cleghorn would play Dr. Jocelyn Elders in a cold open that commented on the Surgeon General's forced resignation occurring the day prior.
If masturbation is not taught in the home, then it must be taught in the school.
Her advocating for sexual education sparked considerable controversy.
Many of our young people graduate from high school completely unable to masturbate. And of those who can, most are able to do so only at a 5th grade level. It does not take long to read step 1, step 2, then repeat.
And Chris Farley would play an American tourist as a contestant on a Japanese game show.
Rari temperatin. Sankonbanwa.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Japanese. Mary, call the American Embassy!
Professional boxer George Foreman would host the Christmas episode.
No one in this cast can take a punch. David Spade fights like a girl. Now, Chris Farley, big guy, strong guy, a lot of heart, but not a genius.
A handful of notorious sketches make up the episode, including Time Boxer, Uncle Joe,
Celebrate!
and an Incredible Hulk sketch.
Get away from me! Hulk smash!
Which broke the fourth wall, commenting on the season's excessive one-note premises.
Hulk, what's the matter?
Hulk angry, Hulk hates sketch. We're writers. Hulk watch show. Every sketch, one joke, over and over. No ending.
That's what my mom says, too.
Kids in the Hall's Bruce McCullough returns with a pre-taped segment.
You again? Are you following me? Why, no. I'm stalking you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my neighbor said there was a guy with a slightly crazed yet focused demeanor standing in my hedge for a long time, neck pivoted toward my window.
Yep, that's me.
Oh, well, it's great to finally meet you.
And the show's first in memoriam tribute bumper is displayed right before the goodnights, honoring longtime SNL stagehand Jimmy McKiernan.
1995 begins with Dumb and Dumber's Jeff Daniels returning to host for the second time. The episode marks the entry for former Season 11 writer and Kids in the Hall star Mark McKinney, joining the show as a repertory player. On Friday evening, danger would enter the halls of 8H when the plaster used to make a face mask for Jeff Daniels is mixed with the wrong ingredients and ends up stuck to the star's face. Worried that Jeff may pass out or become suffocated, Lorne brings in a plastic surgeon.
The guy shows up with his bag, pulls out an X-Acto knife, and says, "Hold the chair and do not move because I'm going to cut your eyelashes, but if you move, I'll cut your eyeball or eyelid, so don't..." Boom. Now we're here, wire cutters, now we're here. Now we're Santa Claus with a white plaster beard and 3 days of stubble, which meant 25 shots of Novocaine, boom, pick, boom, all the way. By 1 in the morning, this took 6 hours, by 1 in the morning, I was ready to go and do SNL.
David Hyde Pierce of Frasier would host next.
You're shearing a sheep. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a nervous habit.
The episode would mark the end of the road for Mike Myers after 6 years as a cast member, though at the time, it was expected that Myers would return for several guest spots throughout the rest of the season, and potentially a 20th anniversary special. Mike's final sketch as a cast member would pair him with Mark McKinney in Scottish Soccer Hooligan Weekly.
During the Scotland-Denmark game, evidently I threw a live jaguar onto the field because of a disputed penalty kick.
Hey, what'd you do that for?
Why no?
What do you mean, why no?
What do you mean, why no?
I ask you a question, you wee gal.
All right, give us a kiss here.
Oh, you broke my nose again, you wee bastard, eh?
The episode would also provide the debut of a Tim Meadows staple, Perspectives.
It's Sunday, 4:45 in the a.m., and that means this is Perspectives. I'm your host, Lionel Osborne.
Also featured in this episode, SNL's first sketch incorporating the internet.
Will you be logging on to the Trivial Pursuit bulletin board on Sunday?
Yes, somebody has to be the worst player.
LOL.
LOL? What does LOL mean?
LOL means I'm laughing out loud. Well, hello there, fellow cybernaut. Isn't the internet great? What's your name?
My name is Claire.
Hi, Bob.
Hosting the first show in February.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob.
Bob Newhart returns to the show for the first time since 1980. The almost 15-year gap between a host's first and second stint would mark the largest span to date. At the very end of the episode, after the goodnights, a reference to our host's CBS sitcom Newhart would include a cameo from actress Suzanne Pleshette.
What is it, Bob? Did you have another dream?
Yeah, it was horrible. I dreamt I was hosting Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live? Is that show still on?
Fresh off a Super Bowl win, primetime Deion Sanders would arrive to Studio 8H.
About a week ago, Lauren Michaels called me up and made me an offer. He said, "Deion, I got a good team here at SNL, but it could be a great team. I need you. We practiced hard all week. The cast is in tip-top shape, even Farley."
On Weekend Update, Opera Man would make an appearance.
Demi Moore a salary at $12 million for next movie, $4 million for her acting, $4 million for each movie.
With Adam Sandler promoting his recently released film, Billy Madison.
Tom Hanks on Naminator, second time, oh, you're a great boy. Next year vacation, go to France, oh, give someone else a freaking chance, oh.
This would mark the final appearance of Opera Man, delivered by Adam Sandler while in the cast. While success with professional athletes serving as host had been achieved over the years, this particular episode has become infamous for Dion's excessive line fumbling.
We gotta do what we gotta do to make men ends meet.
And the proliferation of sophomoric sketches like Juggernaut Forces, where male cast members continue to enter alien spaceships in order to be sexually probed.
I've got exactly the same amount of semen in me that I had when I went in there.
Yeah. I spent all my time in there kicking asses and taking names. They weren't probing asses and taking turns, no.
Dion would close the episode by performing 2 songs from his new rap album.
Come on, everybody, just do it. Now let me see you go through it. I'll put your left foot in and your right foot out. Now step over and do it.
Star of NBC's medical drama ER, George Clooney would host next.
Mr. Adcock!
Yes, finally.
All right, Mr. Adcock, we've had to move your wife to another waiting room.
Oh, okay.
The episode marks the end of the road for Janeane Garofalo after only 14 episodes as a cast member. Citing frustrations surrounding the lewd environment backstage, lack of quality material, and a little airtime, Garofalo decides that it is time to move on. The departure of Janeane would be remedied with the addition of a new cast member, 30-year-old Molly Shannon, an actress from Cleveland, Ohio, recommended by former NYU drama school classmate Adam Sandler, would join the show as a featured player. The next episode would be hosted by actor-comedian Paul Reiser.
She recognized me, so, she goes, "Oh, it's you. Oh, my husband and I are just mad about you."
On Monday of that week, New York Magazine released a front cover story, "Comedy Isn't Funny: How Saturday Night Live Became a Grim Joke." A reporter who had been tracking the culture backstage over the past few months would dive into various reasons why the show was flailing. Interviews with cast and crew, both past and present, provided opinions on the current state of the show, which in some cases was seen as a disloyal attack on the family. The story captured the entertainment industry by storm, and even Reiser, on The Late Show with David Letterman, would make jokes at SNL's expense.
This weekend, you're the host of Saturday Night Live. Again, another
Saturday Night Live, I'm thrilled. I don't know if you saw, there's an article, and I'm thrilled to be part of something just, as it's going to crumble.
Sparkle bright, kiss all day and kiss all night.
Sparkle Bright. You'll never go back to other toothpaste.
The resulting episode that week wouldn't help matters, with the final sketch of the night by Jay Moore.
When I was a lad, my dad used to take me out into the harbor to fish for mackerel. It was a long boat. Now get the hell out!
Being notoriously plagiarized from stand-up comedian Rick Shapiro's act.
I'll write your story. Here's your story. I don't like you. That's the story. Now get out.
Jay confessed. Pretty cool of him, right? Jay confessed. He didn't confess it to me.
A lawsuit would have the sketch removed from future reruns of the show.
The annual John Goodman Show is next.
If the Denver airport supplied a service free of charge to measure your penis, would that be of any interest to you?
No. This would mark Goodman's 6th time hosting, though this time with special guest, original cast member Dan Aykroyd joining the fun. With Goodman out filming Roseanne for most of the week,
you don't even have to show up till Saturday.
Aykroyd serves a pseudo co-host role, taking us on a trip down memory lane. We see the return of the Blues Brothers.
And now when I get the blues, I get me a rockin' chair.
And Erwin Mainway.
You be careful with that.
As well as Dan's impressions of Tom Snyder and Bob Dole.
We deserve to be president. We've earned it. We're 71 years old. Get 'em. I agree with them. We paid our dues, and it's high time someone wiped that smirk off George Will's face. You know it, and I know it, and the American people know it.
George Wendt and Robert Smigel would return for a superfan sketch.
We're back!
Along with actor Brian Dennehy, who would make a cameo.
I've been asked to come in here and help set the record for most fat guys in a single sketch.
Dennehy's appearance was to promote Chris Farley and David Spade's Tommy Boy, which would release the following week. The sketch is also notable in that Chris Farley's Todd O'Connor would comment on the recent SNL criticism.
Oh, you know that Saturday Night Live show? It got way worse. They got that fat guy screaming all the time. Come on, pull the plug on that freaking thing, huh?
And breaking the fourth wall during the last sketch of the night.
I don't know if they've yanked me off the air. No one knows that I'm going to do this.
Chris Elliott would announce that he's leaving Saturday Night Live.
After, almost 10 glorious years as a cast member here at Saturday Night Live, I am now leaving the show. No, Mark, I am. No, stop. I've already left my family. I'm moving to the desert, and I am going to invent the penis measuring machine. Thank you. Goodbye, Mark. Here's my tie. Goodbye to all of you. Thank you for all the years of joy and happiness. You're wonderful.
It's quite a shock. The announcement by Chris Elliott that he is leaving the show. Oh, there he is. His trademark smirk. He is being, of course, accompanied by Lorne Michaels and Dallas Police Chief Fitz. They'll be transporting him by van to the desert where he will attempt to build his penis measuring machine.
Elliott!
Once again, Chris.
Oh my God! He's been shot!
Despite the recent backlash, this nostalgic and creative episode is a welcome departure from season 20's standard fare. After making several appearances this season as new Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich, Chris Farley is invited to the House Republican Conference on April 4th to parody Gingrich in front of his cohorts.
H.R. 763 to change the results of the 88 election so that Michael Dukakis won no states. All in favor? All right. Motion to change the hail to the chief to hail to the speaker, huh? All right. H.R. 424 to make Saturday Night Live's ratings better. All in favor?
Damon Wayans, fired cast member from infamous season 11, would host the first show in April.
What's wrong with you, Lexicon? You too cool to play Red Rover? Maybe you and Minoxidil want to sit on the bench all night. All right, let's pick sides. Latrine, melanoma, you two are captains.
Wayans would bring along his in-living color characters, Blaine Edwards.
There's nothing wrong with being a little chubby or having one.
And Anton Jackson.
You're a very sexy young lady. You got any black in you? No. You want some?
With a cameo from in-living color castmate David Alan Grier.
I guess when the cat's away, the gerbil will play.
The episode would also mark the first for the newest repertory player, 33-year-old Morwenna Banks, a British actress-comedian who had appeared in the British sketch comedy show Absolutely.
Wrapping up her first season on the NBC sitcom Friends,
whatever,
Courteney Cox would host the final show in April.
You can't start a fire. Can't start a fire without a spark. This guns for hire. And if we're just dancing in the dark.
The episode would feature Mark McKinney playing his character Melanie from Kids in the Hall for the first time on SNL.
Jason did the cutest thing. He didn't want to go to bed, so he started pretending he was like a puppy, and I had to chase him up and down the stairs until he got tired.
Oh, shit. Up and down those stairs. Right
Yeah,
there.
on all fours.
On all fours.
Yeah, like a dog.
Honey, I'm going to go ahead and drive Melanie home, okay?
Is America's Funniest 8 Videos. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of America's Funniest 8 Videos, Bob Saget.
Just prior to the series finale of ABC's Full House, comedian Bob Saget would host the penultimate show of the season.
Every week, we bring you the most hilarious home videos from hate groups, patriotic militias, and people who just aren't happy. Our first clip comes under what we'd like to call weekend blunders. Look is honest! My gun!
The episode would include a weekend update segment featuring Morwenna Banks bringing her British little girl character that she had played on Absolutely to describe how television news happens in America.
On the TV news, there is always a big desk with one man and one lady. And yeah, I think they are married, yeah. And the lady must have very puffy up hair and teeth all in a straight line. Or she can be Chinese.
The show would mark the final episode for Al Franken as a cast member, appearing as Stuart Smalley.
Because I'm good enough, oh, screw it.
In a segment that would have Stuart lambast the audience for not seeing his film, Stuart Saves His Family.
You were too busy getting drunk and beating your kids and cheating on your wife to see my movie. These are called chessmen. I eat them, but you can stick them up your ass.
The season would end on a positive note with host David Duchovny.
You know, a lot of weird things have been going on here.
What do you mean weird?
I don't know, people vanishing, alien apparitions, Deion Sanders hosting. That kind of weird.
Well, Ellen, I really should be getting ready for the show. What was that?
We open with a memorable X-Files themed cold open.
Some sort of footprint. That's too big to be a human footprint. Must be some kind of animal. Get a plaster cast made of that.
Right, I'll take it to my lab.
And we'll say goodbye to 9-year cast member Kevin Nealon.
David, I've been a cast member on this show here for 9 years, and I've seen a lot of strange things, and tonight's my last show.
Kevin, does any of this have a point?
No, I just want to remind people tonight's my last show.
All right.
You know, maybe people can throw me a party.
A fan favorite moment shared by Farley and Sandler occurs in the Saget sketch.
Their sensual setting will set the mood for any romantic rendezvous. Oh, hear that, hey?
Give me cancer now, God!
And a now legendary sketch has Jay Moore, Tim Meadows, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, and Norm Macdonald seemingly kill themselves off the show by jumping into the polar bear cage at the zoo.
At the close of season 20, it was clear that everyone's job was at risk, and even the future of the show was not a guarantee.
Time to grab some popcorn, take the phone off the hook, and buckle your seatbelts.
A planned 20th anniversary special was cancelled, and the network let it be known that change was coming, whether Lorne was making the calls or not. NBC president Warren Littlefield had informed the press that everything was up in the air, including Lorne's job. Lorne would later reveal that this was the closest he had been to being let go from the show. In front of the camera, Michael McKean, as well as newcomers Morwenna Banks, Chris Elliott, Laura Keitlinger, and Jay Moore were let go. Veteran cast members Ellen Cleghorn, Chris Farley, and Adam Sandler were also let go.
Boy, this should have been vinegar and water, because I pretty much got douched.
Only Norm Macdonald, Tim Meadows, Mark McKinney, Molly Shannon, and David Spade would remain for the following season.
I am union, I have tenure, and I'm not going anywhere.
Behind the camera, the season's end also marked the retirement for the show's original director Dave Wilson, who had been on and off with the show for 17 of the past 20 seasons. G.E. Smith, band leader since season 11, would not be asked back. Jim Downey was stripped of his head writer credit and relegated to Work Weekend Update. The writing room would be given an overhaul, with only Tim Herlihy, Norm Hiscock, Steve Korn, and Fred Wolf returning in the fall. Season 20 is quite the spectacle.
Show us your boobs!
With most of the second Golden Era cast members now gone from the show, it was up to the Bad Boys to collaborate with the new hires and usher Saturday Night Live into its next successful new era.
I don't know whether this is going to be healthy and fun or scary and dangerous.
Unfortunately, the season 20 cast did not integrate well, and with many competing voices and writing styles, the result did not resonate well with viewers. With an increase of outside projects being offered to the veterans of the cast, and the sting still very present from the New York Magazine story, SNL has reached a pivotal crossroads.
Tick-tock.
Only time would tell whether Saturday Night Live could once again reinvent itself, or if the end was near. If you are enjoying this series, don't forget to like and subscribe below, and follow us on social media to see our coverage on all seasons of Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live Season 20 is now available on Peacock. For all of us here at the Saturday Night Network, I'm James Stevens.
And I'm John Schneider. Good night.